The prison gate dragged open with a heavy metallic groan. Zara Laurent stepped forward slowly, letting the cold morning air brush across her skin. A guard behind her murmured, "You're free." She didn't turn around. "Freedom isn't what I came for." She walked into the pale light, head held steady. On the far side of the street, someone stood by a dark car. Their hood was pulled low, face shadowed. The moment Zara appeared, they stiffened, watching, waiting, silent. Zara felt the gaze on her back but didn't react. She kept moving. She survived. And someone had been expecting her to. Some stories begin quietly. This one doesn't. If journeys like this speak to you, you're welcome to stay, subscribe, and follow Zara's path to the very end. 3 years earlier, Zara arrived in Busan with more dreams than warnings. She wanted a fresh chapter after years of feeling stuck in France. She brought her talent, her art, her calm confidence. Everywhere she went, people noticed her elegant Afro-French presence, her soft accent, the warmth she carried in her eyes. Then she met Soohyun Jong. He stopped by her table at a beachside cafe while she sketched the view of the coastline. His voice was gentle, curious. "You draw the sea like you're listening to it." Zara smiled, surprised by the comment. "And you talk like you already know what I'm thinking." A quiet connection sparked between them. Unexpected, warm, disarming. In their early days, everything felt light. He showed her small restaurants and quiet beaches. She shared stories from Paris, her grandmother's recipes, how she used to paint in her childhood bedroom. He listened like her words mattered. "You feel like home," he once told her. She believed him. They married within a year. Simple ceremony, soft vows, promises whispered against warm skin. Zara thought she'd found peace. But sometimes peace is only the silence before a storm. It began with small things. A drawer that didn't used to be locked. She pulled it once, expecting the familiar slide. Instead, click. Closed. Protected. "Why did you lock this?" she asked that night. He didn't look up from his phone. "New case files. Confidential." She nodded, but something in his tone felt unfamiliar. The next shift came in his behavior with his phone. Screen always down. Notifications disappearing too quickly. Late-night calls he took in the hallway. His voice dipping low when she walked by. Still, Zara didn't assume betrayal. She tried to trust the life she had built. But trust can blind even the sharpest eyes. One night, she woke to an empty bed. It was 2:41 a.m. She quietly walked toward his office. The door was slightly open. "She won't see it coming," he whispered. Zara froze. A woman's voice answered, "Are you sure she won't suspect anything?" That voice. She knew it immediately. Hannah, her closest friend in Busan. Her comfort, her laughter, the sister she found in a foreign country. Zara pressed her hand against the wall to steady herself. "She trusts you like family," Hannah continued. "If this backfires, everything falls on you." "It won't backfire," Soohyun replied softly. "It's already set." Zara stepped away silently, her breath shaking. For the first time since she arrived in Korea, she felt something crack inside her. Not just fear, but something more vulnerable than she wanted to admit. How did I love someone who studied me only to break me? She returned to bed before either of them noticed she'd been listening. When Soohyun crawled into bed an hour later and whispered, "Sleep well, Monitoil," she didn't move. She stared into the dark, realizing the man she married was building a world designed to bury her. 3 days later, while sorting through his legal books, she found the flash drive. Small, silver, her initials carved into it. She smiled faintly. "If this is a gift, it's terribly hidden," she joked to herself. But when she plugged it into her laptop, her smile vanished. Her name appeared everywhere. Bank transfers she never made, transactions tied to illegal funds, emails she never sent, contracts with perfect forgeries of her signature. Every file pointed directly at her. Zara didn't panic. She sat perfectly still, breathing slowly, letting her mind absorb every detail. "You planned this," she whispered. Not in disbelief, in recognition. She memorized everything. Numbers, dates, patterns. Her photographic memory locked it all in. She didn't take screenshots. She didn't copy files. She left no trace. When she closed the laptop, she heard footsteps behind her. Soo-hyun entered the room holding pastries. "I got your favorite. You were working too hard today." Zara accepted the treat and smiled softly. "Thank you, my love." Inside her chest, something cold settled. Outside, she played her part perfectly. The days that followed were a performance she never rehearsed for. Hannah visited often, her hugs too tight, her eyes darting nervously whenever Zara met her gaze. One afternoon, as Zara poured tea, Hannah spoke quietly. "You're such a gentle soul." Zara raised an eyebrow. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Just, don't let people take advantage of your kindness." "Is someone trying to?" Hannah's lips parted as if to answer, but the moment Soo-hyun entered the room, she swallowed her words. Zara watched everything. Not with fear now, with certainty. They were preparing for something big. She waited for it, and it arrived. The pounding on the door came at exactly 5:14 a.m. "Police! Open up!" Zara sat upright immediately. Her pulse stayed steady. Officers stormed in, shouting commands. "Zara Laurent, you are under arrest for fraud, embezzlement, and money laundering." She lifted her hands without protest. Behind the officers, Soo-hyun stood wide-eyed, acting devastated. "What is happening?" "Zara, I don't understand." Hannah covered her mouth, tears streaming. "How could this happen?" "Zara, please, tell them." Zara stared at them both. Finally, she stepped toward Soo-hyun. The officers held her arms, but she leaned in close enough for only him to hear. "You think I didn't notice?" His eyes flickered, quick, sharp, almost startled. "You shouldn't have gone through my things," he whispered. "And you shouldn't have underestimated me." For the first time, she saw fear. Just a flicker, small but unmistakable. As they dragged her out, Hannah whispered shakily, "I'm sorry." Zara didn't answer. Her silence was louder than fury. When the police car door shut behind her, she looked at the home she once thought was hers. Then she looked at the street. Far away, partially hidden near the corner, stood the same hooded figure she'd sensed before, watching, still, unmoving. She blinked, and the figure slipped into the shadows. Zara leaned back in the car seat, whispering to herself, "They framed the wrong woman." The transport van's engine hummed beneath Zara as she stared through the barred window, watching Busan blur into streaks of gray. She didn't cry. She didn't tremble. She didn't even blink much. Her mind was strangely quiet, holding itself together by force. But inside that quietness, one thought whispered relentlessly. How long had they been planning to erase me? Processing was fast and cold. Name, nationality, age, marital status? Zara answered every question with the same controlled calm. When they asked about marital status, she paused, just for a fraction of a second, and said, "It doesn't matter." They locked her in a cell that smelled of bleach and old fear. Gray walls, a thin mattress, and silence that pressed against her lungs. A guard paused outside her bars. "Eat something," he said. "You'll need strength." She didn't reply. Strength wasn't her issue. What she needed was truth. And maybe, for the first time in her life, someone to stand on her side. But that hope died quickly. Court was a blur of accusations and forged evidence. Emails she didn't write. Signatures she never made. Financial trails she had never touched. The judge barely glanced at her. 5 years. A gavel. A gasp. A sentence. She turned her head slowly. Hannah was sobbing into a tissue. Soo-hyun rubbed her back, comforting her as if he were the one betrayed. Their eyes met. Anna flinched. Soo-hyun didn't look away. Zara held his gaze and thought, "One day you will explain every second of this to me." She walked out of the courtroom with her spine straight. If she broke, she would do it alone. Not here. Not in front of him. Prison was a world with its own rules, raw, unpredictable, loud. Women stared as she entered. Fresh blood. "She's too pretty for this place. She won't last." Zara ignored them. Her silence wasn't fear, it was observation. She learned quickly. Don't beg. Don't brag. Don't break. She ate alone. Walked alone. Stayed awake while others slept. But she wasn't unfeeling. Some nights, her chest tightened with a quiet ache. Not for the life she lost, but for the person she used to be. How did love become a weapon in someone else's hands? She pushed the thought away and sharpened her mind like a blade. 2 weeks in, danger arrived. It happened in the showers. Steam rising, water echoing against stone, voices fading in and out. A faint shift of footsteps behind her made her body stiffen. A blade pressed against her back. A woman whispered, "He wants you gone." Zara didn't turn. "Who?" "The man who framed you." Her throat tightened, not from fear, but from the sting of betrayal. "What did he promise you?" she asked. "Money. Enough to disappear." Zara exhaled slowly. "And when you do it, what happens when he erases you too?" The woman hesitated. The blade trembled. Zara continued, voice calm. "He cleans up loose ends. You know that." A long beat. Then the woman stepped back, shaking. "I can't do this." She fled. Zara picked up the dropped blade and hid it under her towel. That night, she lay on her thin mattress staring at the ceiling. The truth settled cold and heavy. Soo-hyun didn't want her in prison. He wanted her dead. Her hands clenched into fists beneath the blanket. "I survived everything else," she whispered. "I'll survive him." The following months taught her the art of endurance. She kept to herself, but the other inmates learned not to test her. She was quiet, but not breakable. Calm, but not weak. Some began to respect her. Some feared her. But she didn't care about any of them. The only life that mattered was the one waiting outside, the truth she needed to uncover and the man she intended to confront. Then, one winter morning, a guard appeared at her cell door. "Laurent. Transfer." Zara frowned. "To where?" "Doesn't matter. Pack." She folded her few belongings neatly. Her instincts whispered danger. When they led her through a back hallway instead of the main exit, the whisper became a scream. Outside waited a black SUV. Too clean. Too quiet. Too deliberate. The guard opened the door. "Get in." Zara didn't move. "Who ordered this transfer?" "Higher-ups," he muttered, not meeting her eyes. That confirmed it. Someone wanted this to look official. Someone wanted this to be the last time anyone saw her. A voice from inside the SUV said, "Zara, get in." Her entire body stilled. That voice, she knew it from somewhere, but she couldn't place it. She climbed inside. The door shut behind her. A man sat in the back seat, hood down now. Late 30s, intense eyes, sharp jawline. Her breath caught. "You look like Soo-hyun," he finished with a bitter half-smile. "Yes, people say that." "Who are you?" "G1, he said. "His half-brother." Zara blinked. "Why are you here?" "To keep you alive." She didn't respond. Her face remained unreadable. G1 studied her carefully. "You were supposed to die during this transfer. The order wasn't from the prison." She frowned. "Then who?" "Your husband," G1 said quietly. "He paid the wrong people to finish the job." Zara's breath hitched. A tiny, involuntary sound. The closest she'd come to showing pain. "Why?" she whispered, more to herself than him. "I didn't take anything. I didn't know anything." Ji-won shook his head. You saw something. Something you didn't realize was important. What was it? A document, a signature, a transfer. Something small, but dangerous. Zara swallowed hard. And he panicked. He always panics when people know things. She leaned back, staring at the ceiling of the car. For the first time since her arrest, her voice trembled. Not with fear, but with the weight of someone who had loved deeply and been shattered silently. I gave him everything, she said softly. He used it all against me. Ji-won glanced away, giving her a moment without pity. Then he said, You weren't chosen by accident. You were chosen because you were easy to isolate, easy to manipulate, and easy to frame. Zara turned her head toward him slowly. There is nothing easy about me anymore. Ji-won nodded once, the smallest show of respect. He drove her to an abandoned warehouse, one the city forgot. Inside, he handed her a thick coat. You can't go home. He's watching it. Zara tightened the coat around her shoulders. Why help me? Because he ruined people I cared about, Ji-won said. And because he's planning something worse. What is he planning? Something that will destroy lives, Ji-won answered. And he needed you gone before it starts. Zara inhaled deeply. The fear she once felt had burned away, leaving only determination. Tell me everything, she said quietly. Ji-won looked at her for a long moment. Then he nodded. Then let's begin. Ji-won led Zara into a dim back room of the warehouse. A single desk sat in the middle with folders stacked on top, and a laptop that hummed quietly. It felt like a confession room for truth instead of religion. You said I saw something and didn't know it, Zara began, her voice low, steady. Ji-won nodded. You did. What was it? He opened a folder and pushed it toward her. Inside were sheets of paper, legal contracts, loan agreements, charity documents. All too perfect, all too clean. But one stood out. A transfer authorization with a signature Zara recognized instantly. Her own. I never signed this, she said sharply. I know. It's one of the forged signatures he used, Ji-won replied. But look closer. She leaned in. At the bottom of the page was a name, one she had seen only once before. Kang Dae-min. Who is he? She asked. A politician. A dangerous one. He funds things that shouldn't be funded. Your husband's firm launders money for him. Zara's heart beat harder. So why frame me? Ji-won's jaw tightened. Because one night, Damon's file was open in the office. And you walked in. You didn't even read it. You just set down a cup of tea and left. Zara blinked. A memory surfaced, soft, quick, forgettable. She had walked into the office while Soo-hyun was working late. She placed tea on his table and kissed his cheek. The file had been open. She never looked at it. I didn't even notice, she whispered. He did, Ji-won said. And it terrified him. If anyone suspected you knew anything, the entire ring would collapse. So he built a plan. Using me. Yes. Zara swallowed, the betrayal sinking deeper, sharper. He planned this from the beginning? Before he married you, Ji-won said quietly. You were chosen. A soft, stunned sound escaped her. Not a sob, not a gasp. Something in between. The ache of realizing love was a lie from the first kiss. Ji-won continued. You were foreign, smart, alone in a new country, perfect. He needed someone with a clean background he could corrupt without suspicion. And Hannah? Zara whispered, the name tasting bitter. Ji-won sighed. Hannah was manipulated too. Soo-hyun told her you were accidentally involved already. He said turning you in was the only way to keep the firm alive. She believed him. Zara closed her eyes. She knew I trusted her. She thought you'd get a light sentence. She didn't know he planned your death. Zara turned away, her chest tightening. Not because she wanted to forgive Hannah, but because betrayal from someone you love feels like being stabbed with truth instead of knives. After a long silence, she said, I want to see her. Ji-won nodded. You will. He arranged a meeting 2 days later in an empty rooftop parking lot at dusk. Hannah arrived trembling, clutching her purse like it was shielding her from punishment. When she saw Zara, her eyes went wide, shame, fear, surprise twisting together. Zara, she whispered. Don't run, Zara said softly. Hannah didn't. Her knees almost buckled as she stepped closer. I thought you were. I didn't know he wanted to kill you. Zara's face didn't soften. But you helped him. Hannah's lips trembled. He said you were already involved. He told me the evidence was real. He said we had to turn you in before the police found out first. I believed him. I thought it was the only way to save everyone. Zara stared at her for a long moment. Did you ever ask me if it was true? Hannah broke into tears. I was afraid. He said the firm would collapse, that people would lose their jobs, that Damon would destroy us. I wanted to protect what we built. I didn't think you would be a target, Zara finished. Hannah nodded violently. Yes, I didn't think he'd try to kill you. I swear, Zara. Zara looked away toward the city lights. I trusted you. Hannah covered her face, crying harder. I know, and I ruined that trust. I'm so sorry. I can't undo it. But I can help you now. Zara turned back. How? There's a backup, Hannah said quickly. A digital ledger. The one he truly fears. The one that ties him and Damon together. He hid it from everyone. Even the firm. I know where it is. Zara held her gaze. Show me. Hannah nodded. This wasn't forgiveness. This was utility. Zara didn't need Hannah's apology. She needed her information. And Hannah owed her everything. The digital ledger was hidden in a secure storage unit under a different name. Ji-won hacked the lock. Zara sifted through the files with precision. There it was. Transfers. Client names. Offshore routes. Damon's hidden accounts. Soo-hyun's signatures. Illegal contracts. Fake charity funds. Payments for silence. Plans to eliminate Zara once she became inconvenient. The entire operation laid bare. Zara stared at the final line typed in small text. If she talks, eliminate immediately. Her chest burned. Not with sadness anymore, but with clarity. Ji-won watched her carefully. You know what to do with this. Zara closed the laptop slowly. I do. The next morning, Soo-hyun entered his firm with his usual calm smile. Everything in his life felt perfect. He believed Zara was gone forever, erased neatly like a line of text. Then the whispers began. Is that real? Did he sign those? Why is his name in Damon's accounts? What's happening? He walked into his office and froze. Every screen was on. Every folder open. Every secret revealed. The projector displayed the ledger in full. And sitting in his chair, legs crossed, posture calm, was Zara Laurent. Alive. Unbroken. Unfinished. His blood drained. Zara. She turned her head slowly. Did you miss me? You're supposed to be dead. Zara stood. I know. You tried. His breath shook. I didn't want, he began. You didn't want me to find this, she said, gesturing to the evidence. But I did. Soo-hyun reached for her. Zara, listen. She stepped back. Don't touch me. His voice cracked. I can explain. No, she whispered. You can confess. She pressed a button. A recording device blinked red. Soo-hyun stumbled backward. Zara, please. If this gets out, everything is over. She took a step closer. Then you should have thought about that before you turned me into your shield. He sank to his knees, panic tearing through him. You don't understand. Damon will kill me. You should have worried about me first. Police sirens grew louder, approaching the building. Hannah had already leaked the evidence. Soo-hyun looked up at her with wild, breaking eyes. Why are you doing this? Zara leaned close enough for him to feel her breath. Because I survived what you built for me. And now you'll survive what you built for yourself. Officers stormed in, weapons drawn. Soo-hyun Jong, you are under arrest. He begged, screamed, reached for her. But Zara stepped back and watched him be dragged away. Not with triumph. Not with hatred. With closure. Ji-won appeared beside her, hands in his pockets. You did it. Zara exhaled softly. He wrote the script. I just finished it. Ji-won smiled faintly. So what now? Zara looked out at the city, the place that betrayed her, shaped her, and rebuilt her. Now, she said, I get to decide who I become. A quiet moment passed between them. Some endings burn. Some endings heal. This one did both. And for anyone who's still walking through fire, sometimes the strongest thing you can do is follow stories like this to the end. Stay close, subscribe, and come back for more. There's always another truth to uncover.